Yo, what's going on? It's your man, Art Man Boxing, back in the building. Let me adjust this camera because we just been talking boxing for a little bit. We're gonna talk history too. So let me send this notification out. Let everybody know we on here live cooking up. Yeah. I was also working on this Wilder versus Fury 3 art. Yeah, I say, you know what? I'm just gonna fuck around and just make a Wilder versus Fury 3 art, and then make a Wilder art, and that's it. It's just so much shit I could do. It's like, as an artist, it's so much stuff that you can do, man. It's like, but it's all about time and shit like that. But says salute art, salute to my dog Felix, man. And no disrespect to the legends or nothing like that, but we just gonna review a couple things here, man. Um, this morning, or actually yesterday, I did a space with a couple people. It was on Mighty Max's channel, and I basically said I believe that Wilder, if they had a fight, I feel like he could possibly beat Joe Louis. And people got upset. They're like, oh man, Art man, why would you say such a thing? Why would you say such a thing? And I said, you know what? Let's analyze it. Let's really analyze it. It's not because, oh, I think that Wilder's just better than everybody. In fact, I think some other heavyweights from today can fuck around and do something, but they don't want to, they don't want to hear me out. But we're gonna talk about it today. Um, Most definitely. Let me let everybody know that we are here live, though.
I think I'm one of the faces of boxing because I'm doing it
Oh
differently.
God. Oh yeah. We also got to talk about this Jake Paul shit too, because I know people want to talk about that. Um, but first, let me talk about that Jake Paul shit before we get into that. Before we get into real boxing. So with Jake Paul versus Tyrone Woodley, man, oh man, there was certain things that was wrong with that fight, like that knockdown, dude. He definitely got a knockdown. He definitely got. Hey, he definitely got that knockdown. I don't know what people are talking about. He definitely got a knockdown, but what they did was I don't know what, bro. They just let that shit rock, like, and said I think they're trying to build up the Jake to take the Fury place when he out of the scene. Who knows, man? Who knows, man? All I know is for sure. All I know is for sure is that if they try to make a Tommy Fury fight, that's just I don't know if it's gonna sell, because Tommy Fury, he fucked up. He was supposed to Tommy Fury was supposed to knock out his opponent, and it was supposed to be spectacular. But instead, this guy end up looking like a fucking roided up fucking bodybuilder. He couldn't do shit. He was so fucking stiff, man. Jesus Christ, that shit was hard to watch. That shit was hard to watch. Let me see. Let me let my people. Fuck the Furies. Yeah, man, that shit with Fury was hard to watch, bro. It really was. Um, he over here trying to be like his brother, but I'm like, dude, if you want to be like your brother, you got to learn how to cheat, man. Real shit. What it do? What's going on, brother? Shit, we just in here talking boxing, dude. I'm gonna drop the link real quick so you can hop on if you ain't too busy. Yeah, I just want to have a real educational conversation with older boxing fans, young boxing fans, or whatever about the topic at hand. Man, I honestly believe that yes, there's some legends of the past. Of course, nobody's ever gonna take that away from them. But a lot of these dudes that gets hyped up, I don't know if they'll last against certain dudes today. Like, let's be real. Come on, that's why you got a George Till in this corner like his brother. Yeah, fuck Tommy Fury now. But yeah, um, Tommy Fury was one of those fighters that will not win a fight against anyone from the 1930s. That's something we can all agree on, right? Man, that shit was fucking bad. Montana Love's performance was good too, man. That was real good. I'm glad that he got the spotlight on him because I've seen him working for a long time. I thought he was done with this boxing shit, but then he came back and did his thing. So I'm proud of him. Hopefully we can get a good matchup for him at 140. I heard somebody talk about him versus Gary Russell's brother at a fight. That'd be dope. That'd be definitely dope for sure. I definitely want to see more of him. I want to see more of a lot of these dudes, man. And that's one thing about our generation that we got to talk about. Like these old other fighters from back in the day, these motherfuckers was fighting like every week, every month, next month, the month after. Fighters today, they fight one time, they be done into the whole fucking next year. I don't understand that shit. Like with the Conwell situation, yeah, his coach advised him to not take the fight, but shit, if you got the skills like that, man, take the fight, take that one fight, and then double back and fight the next dude. You know what I'm saying? Stay active. Fuck it. But I seem like a lot of these fighters don't have that type of confidence.
What it do?
What's going on, brother?
Shit, just got done painting the garage. Shit, sweat my ass off in that motherfucker.
Shit, I just got done working out, but now I'm just talking this boxing. I need somebody to chop it up with while I'm working on this Wilder versus Fury 3 art.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
What?
Nah, I'm just joking.
Uh,
Nah. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing, man, with that art stuff, man. You know, no matter what, somebody ain't gonna like what you're doing, but you're doing a very, very good job, my friend.
Thank you, brother. I'm just working, Definitely working, man. But do you see the topic at hand? I said, can the fighters from the past beat the fighters today? And I'm not saying all of them collectively. We're going to break it down individually. Like, which fighter you think could beat who?
Well, I don't know necessarily. It's just, to me, all that, it's just, the world would never know, man. The world would
never know, right? But and that's why I'm understanding, the world would never really know, but we can have educational guesses.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with it is every time somebody says something, they have an opinion on it. People want to get their panties in a bunch,
Yeah, like somebody told me I'm stupid for thinking Wilder can possibly beat Joe Louis. I'm like, yo, it's like, can we really look at it?
And that's the thing. That's the thing that people need to realize. Like, Joe Louis lost to somebody.
Exactly. Joe Louis lost a couple times.
And a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? It's just like one of those things. Like, you just never know. And if somebody wants to sit there and talk about it, I don't see the big deal of it. If somebody wants to talk about it, people want to always, you're always comparing this guy to Muhammad Ali. What's up with all this? Everybody, what's wrong with somebody wanting to be somebody? You know what I'm saying?
Especially if they heavyweights from America.
Yeah, it's like if they want to, or if people really, if boxers really want to believe that's what they is. I mean, I still play semi-pro football, and people out there believing they Odell and all this other shit, and they better than this guy and that guy. But I don't hit on them as far as like them being delusional, but I hit them as far as is that they need to just be themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think some boxers need to do. Just be themselves and stop trying to be like somebody else, because you would never, you motherfuckers don't even train like them. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things that the older cats could teach the younger cats than the younger cats could teach the older cats. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
It's just always, that conversation just always gonna piss people off, because some people were there to see Muhammad Ali box. Some, there's a couple of guys. My grandpa saw Sugar Ray Robinson. He saw him. He remember when Sugar Ray Robinson used to have nappy hair like me before he started perming and shit. And well, that's what my grandpa say. He's like, yeah, I remember that boy. He used to be nappy headed like me, boy. Then he thought he was pretty with the perm and all that shit. Then that's when right around then, everybody started talking about him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a nice looking young man, and when he started perming and shit, man, he was a talk of the town. You know what I'm saying? As far as the women was concerned, but let them. You know, people want to hate. You know, Wilder might get a couple of them cats, but Tommy Fury, I don't know. He had a hard time. He had a hard time fighting a short arm T Rex.
Yeah, Tommy Fury would get his ass kicked by fucking Joe Louis. Duh.
No,
Fuck yeah.
that boy was landing some. He landed a couple body shots, couple of strong straights at him. You know, a couple little jabs, and you know, I know it was a rounder and all that stuff, but old boy got tired before him, and Tommy Fury was tired.
I'm like, and you know, somebody was complaining because they was like, oh, this fight was 6 rounds at first. And I'm like, nigga, thank God it ain't no 6 rounds. Because both of y'all look gas. And like you say, the training back then was just completely different. Them dudes, I was watching a couple videos today. Them dudes was lifting up big ass rocks and shit, throwing it across the fucking yard, running extra early in the morning, you know, uphill. Like a lot of those fighters back then was training real hard. I mean, because I think, you know, they're going 15 rounds. Of course, you got to train fucking hard.
Right.
My dude says, he thinks Mike Tyson will lose to King Kong, Ortiz, and Wilder. Ooh, see, that's a bold statement. And statements like that will get you fucking argued down by old head. You gonna raise somebody's blood pressure up, boy. Say some shit like that.
But then which Mike Tyson? The cokehead Mike Tyson? I mean, it depends on which Mike Tyson. You know, but they still might get them, and ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But what I think that a lot of boxers today can learn a lot from Mike. You know, because a lot of these boxers don't have head movement. These heavyweight, they don't have no head movement.
Yep, they stand right there with their hands down.
Yeah, and they're not using their left leg. They're not using their left leg to dip down. What they do, some of them they leaning forward with it. That's if you look at Mike, the reason why his legs were so strong because he was using his leg to dip down, not just his back and his shoulders, his neck.
And I feel like a lot of these dudes get the injuries based off of them not using the proper techniques when throwing punches.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with Wilder too. You know.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring up Wilder.
You know, most of these boxers with their elbow injuries and shit like that, you hit a heavy bag wrong. You hit a heavy bag wrong, you'll fuck your wrist up. You hit a heavy bag wrong, you fuck your elbow up. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's different. It's a different. You see how people be throwing with the inside, hit people upside their head with the inside of their glove and shit like that, and stuff like that. That's how you can overextend your elbow right there. That's a clear shot on how you can wind up having elbow surgery.
Or if you throwing with your arm instead of twisting your hips.
Yeah. Yeah, but he said that King Kong and Mike Tyson. That fight was man. I mean, not now, but if that fight was possibly happened when it was mid-30s and stuff like that, early 30s, that'd be a good fight. But I don't even know how many lefties might fight again. Because a lot of these boxers, a lot of these boxers don't like to fight left. Lennox Lewis, I know, didn't. Lennox Lewis said, "Hell nah, is you crazy?"
To fight who?
He just said he didn't like doing it.
Like doing what?
Fighting left.
Fighting who?
Left-handed fighters.
Oh, just fighting left-hand fighters because it's just like that style matchup.
He just said he always had a hard problem with him inspiring. It's just sometimes the left brain and your right brain just don't pick up on. It's just certain things like when I was learning how to play water polo, learning how to egg beat. Man, it took me so long. Some people pick it up quick, some people pick it up fast, but it took me the longest, but I figured it out. But it just some things just doesn't click as fast with others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I couldn't imagine drawing with my left hand. Hell no. But
yeah,
I get it though.
That's the reason why back in the day they used to tie your shit up. They should tie that motherfucker up, or make you switch stance in training.
Says Mike Tyson had troubles with boxers, Holyfield twice, Lewis even though was past his prime. My dude, he feels strong about King Kong Ortiz. He said He think he can fight one of these dudes
He probably could, but I don't think Mike Tyson had a problem
with a
with
guy like
boxing.
Ortiz because I think they both. I feel like Mike can get in the inside with a guy like Ortiz, chop them ribs up.
I don't think. I mean, you can say whatever you can. People can say whatever they want to. I know historians have said, but I see a lot of things different with Mike. I mean, I know a lot of people don't want to bring up the drugs and which Mike and this and the third and the Buster Douglas thing, and a lot of people want to say, well, that's
He
what
wasn't the
happened to Mike.
same, man.
Yeah. But we all know Mike was still high off of cocaine in the ring that night. You know what I'm saying? I like to keep it real. He was still high in the ring off that night, and like that's the reason why I brought up what version of Mike, because to me the version of Mike, the one that wasn't on cocaine, I think he had beat a lot of fighters, especially if Mike if that Mike was to be able to still keep growing as far as being a boxer. He didn't reach Mike never reached his full potential in my opinion because of Cuss dying and then getting in with the devil Don King and then getting on drugs. And I know people can say, well, that's not their fault, that's not this and the third. Okay, whatever, but I'm going to keep it as I'm going to keep it as a historical point that has to be brought up, no matter how you put it, because if Mike Tyson before he went to jail, before he got all that stuff, he would have beat Buster Douglas, in my opinion. And I think that the problem with Mike is when he's fighting so-called boxers is that come on, let's keep it real. He has to get into your inside. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't
Too
box,
short.
so if Mike is fighting somebody that can't box, of course he's going to just clean you out. If Mike is fighting a boxer that don't know how to use angle, of course he's going to clean you out in devastating fashion. If you can't box against Mike Tyson and you don't know your way around the ring against Mike Tyson, he's going to fucking clean you out. And then when some people can't box, the reason why it took Mike a long time to clean them out or to get up in there is because they knew the fuck to get out of the way. Look how many times Deontay Wilder went to later rounds with people in his career. That's because them cats knew how to box a bit. They knew angles. They knew to get the fuck out of the dodge of that right motherfucking hand. But eventually, guess what happened?
It caught up to him.
The heat seeker was coming. I mean, we can ask everybody. I mean, you can ask Tyson Fury. All the list goes down. You can box all your way throughout that whole ring, but if he hits you right, you're going down.
No matter what. No matter fucking what.
And it's the same thing with Mike. You can't be perfect. Nobody in the ring, nobody in the history of boxing, including Floyd Mayweather, could be perfect for 12 rounds. Nobody can be perfect for 12 fucking rounds. Nobody. But you can.
It's like times where they human. Like you will have to stop and reset, analyze where you are. In that time frame, you can get hurt. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I was reading that comment. Rick said he said he got skills too, and something. Then Straight Convo said Wilder would be a problem. Any boxer era of boxing because he's a powerful athlete. He's a powerful athlete, but I don't think Wilder he doesn't really show his athleticism like I would want him to show it. Because I think if Wilder really showed his athleticism in the ring, I think that jab beat down people's throats every single time.
And I spoke to Malik Scott and he was like, because I asked him, I said, I want to know what fights are you watching to prepare Wilder to fight him? And he said, you know what we've been watching? And I seen on his Instagram, he said we've been watching a lot of tall fights, tall fighters fighting. Honestly believe, and I seen him watching a lot of Larry Holmes fight, and I'm like, dude, if Wilder get his jab just right, where he can just keep on lining him up and just hit him with that straight right, Wilder can turn to a throwback fighter if he gets a couple good camps in, man. Ain't no telling.
I mean, he don't. To me, I don't think he needed a couple. He just needs to be light on his feet. Just be light
his feet.
be lighter on your feet. I mean, the thing about it is, if you watch the second fight, you know, if you look at Wilder, yeah, he's coming forward and everything, but it's like he's telegraphing and he's waiting to throw punches. He's telegraphing and waiting to throw punches.
Yeah, I seen it all night.
Yeah, so you have to. So when you're doing that, you're making yourself the person that you're fighting already got you down pat now, because you know you're waiting for something, and you telegraph. So it's easier for that person to land punches on you. You know what I'm saying? It's easier for that person to jump up on you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're waiting. You know, and I think that at Wilder, you know, just got a little bit light. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm not telling the man what to do or nothing like that, but you know, just being light on your feet, man. Because look at everybody that fought against this dude. You know, that knocked him down or gave him a bit of a hard time. They wasn't the lightest on their feet, but they moved.
Yep. Ortiz had him looking crazy, missing. And that's the thing. It's like, dude, I was watching Muhammad Ali versus Sonny Liston 1. Well, they only fought one time, right? Sonny Liston, yeah. I remember there was a part where they said he couldn't see, but he was still like putting his jab out to measure where he was at, measure where his opponent's at, measure where he's at, and then pop him with the right hand, pop him or hit him with the left hook. And I'm like, you see, stuff like that is missing from boxing, where fighters don't like measuring their opponents with that jab. Like, that jab is very fundamental.
Well, I think a lot of people do, but you can't do that too much. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to find out where she fucking put the damn hookah at. How the fuck she? You can't do that too much. You know, those you could, you know, because they come off as bit of as a lazy jab. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if you're gonna do it, you gotta have it high up, so then that way, you know, your arm can block a shot coming. But doing that, you know, it's bad and it's good, because you can really leave yourself open for some shots. You know, throwing lazy jabs, because that's what they come off of as being lazy jabs.
And somebody says, I believe Wilder was more athletic earlier in his career. He just got used to his power. What do you think about that?
What did he say?
He says, I believe Wilder was more athletic earlier in his career, and he just got used to power.
Well, Wilder did say that, but Wilder did say that. So that's not you know, something.
Yeah,
that's not a guess, but you know, he was always a patient fighter, though. You know, it wasn't like he was just jumping on people and stuff like that. He always been a patient fighter. So you know, the athleticism part, you know, I think he always showed it, but I just don't think for me personally, I don't think he showed it quite enough. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you can get that jab, you know, down somebody like Tyson Fury's throat, is if you moving. Look at Tommy Fury and look at Tyson Fury. They do the same shit. They keep their hands moving, not their feet. Their hands moving. They always they fight the same way, just like they fucking daddy. I mean, just like Tyson Fury's daddy. They all fight the same way. They're all fucking hittable. But how you hit them is by keeping, not standing there. He fought. See what that little dude did? That he fought that little bitty man. That little bitty man.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, this motherfucker short as hell compared to you.
Yeah, because he kept moving. He was getting hit and stuff like that. Yeah, he could have, you know, bobbed and weaved a little bit more like he was doing in the first and second round, but you know, he got a little bit tired. You see that? But you know, you got to move with these guys. You can't be sitting over there making yourself predictable so they can just keep landing these jabs on you and setting you up.
One thing about the boxers I was watching today. Like I was watching Sonny Liston, and he used to set boxers up with that jab. And as soon as he lands that jab, it's like he knew exactly where to throw that right hand and that left hook. I feel like if Wilder goes into this fight, what he needs to be working on is throwing more punches besides just the 1-2. Got to mix it up, man. Got to mix it to the body. Got to mix it up to the head, and you got to give them angles. That's what them old school fighters are doing. They were giving guys angles, jab, jab. Like Muhammad Ali, he was jab, 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 moving around. He was just moving around. And you just and his jab wasn't like the hardest jab, but enough of those jabs will have your opponent eyes swelling up.
Right. Yeah. They was though, but them dudes. See, that's the thing though. It's like those guys. You know, that's the reason why a lot of those training things they did, instead of hitting weights, because they was trying to create grown man strength. You know what I'm saying? You know, doing yard work on a farm is not the same. It's not like the same. It's not gonna be the same strength you get from lifting weight. It ain't never been. You know what I'm saying? When you see them big ass Earl Campbell looking motherfuckers getting to the NFL, they already natural. They're already big. You know what I'm saying? And that's from putting in work. And a lot of these guys, you know, look at Tommy Fury. That's the art. That's Mr. Artificial Muscle Intelligence. That's all from lifting weights and shit like that. Look how big his shoulders is. All from lifting weights and shit. And I bet you none of them was drug tested.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, dude, shit. Before we even get that far, I don't even think that motherfucker was drug tested.
They said even for the Jake Paul and Woodley fight, they talking about drug testing after the fight. That shit gone, baby. That shit gone out of their system. That shit gone. They clean now. You too late.
And you know what I think about too? While I was watching all these old fights, I was thinking to myself, like, was anybody really detecting like cheating? I'm pretty sure motherfuckers was in there cheating like a motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they was. I mean, you know, like we pointed out earlier, man. Like, you know, you can't be having the rope save you like that and not call a knockdown. Them ropes saved you from falling.
Dude, I'm like, when I seen that shit last night, I said, "Oh, okay, he got some for knockdown." And then just let it go. I was like, "Oh, okay." Now I know what type of party this is.
The comment, I think he was asked something like, "Do you think that should be a knockdown?" He's like, "Nah, I don't think so."
Man, you already know what time it is when it comes to that shit, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I don't think so. Like I'm watching it on a stream, right? And I can see clearly that if the ropes wasn't there, he would have fell out the ring.
He damn near fell out the ring.
Yeah, he was holding. I don't. It is what it is. Somebody said, has fast feet as seen in Stavern too when he did that crazy step. Yeah. I mean that was a good move. You know what I'm saying? Because Stavern was looking for him to come straight forward at him anyways. That was a good move to step to the side and clock that motherfucker dreadlock out his head.
Hey, this nigga Lefty got me fucking rolling. He said, "Art man, this Lefty, this my other account. This motherfucker got like 3 accounts. I don't know what's going." But anyways, yeah, he said he has fast feet. Yeah, Wilder does have fast feet, and he's very athletic. We seen him in that Stavern fight. He did some shit I ain't never seen a boxer do. I've never seen a boxer cross up somebody and then knock him out. That's pure athleticism right there.
Yeah, I mean, people say the dude can't box. People say a lot of people can't box. You know.
Okay. I know who this is. My bad, but go on, brother.
You know, they shit on Chris Arreola, say he can't box. They shit on Stavern because Stavern don't want to get in shape no more.
No more, right?
Yeah. You keep like everybody that Wilder beat. Like look, you know who Stavern was. Stavern was a bad man at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? But you know, even Stavern, if Stavern was in shape, Stavern would be better off than Povetkin, Pulev, maybe even Charles Martin. And a lot of people won't never give him that credit. And the same thing like Chris Arreola. Chris Arreola, you know, he one of them suspect dudes when it comes in being in shape too. You know, because he like the cerveza. You know, he like to drink.
And that's what he said. He said, "Man, I wish I took this shit more serious. I would have been fucking crucial out here in these streets."
That's not my own mouth. He said it. He said, you know, in the motherfucking bar. He was all up in the motherfucking bars. You know what I'm saying? And look at him. You know, when he's in shape, when he looked a little bit off and stuff like that. But come on.
They said, you know, it's so funny. They said Arreola wasn't shit until they seen Arreola in the ring with Ruiz.
Yeah, and then what they say about Anthony Joshua. Nobody want to talk about that.
Nobody want to talk about that.
Now, when I tell people that triangle shit don't mean anything because of styles, but people have to understand is that Ruiz is always going to have a hard time with a taller fighter. Is always going to have a tough time with a taller fighter. He's a shorter fighter. With some weight around his. I don't know what the hell holding them shorts up, but you know he's a shorter fighter. I mean, he's always going to have a tougher time than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say is that says a lot about damn, I thought that was that hookah. I'm gonna say what the fuck that thing. That says a lot about AJ though. You know. I don't want to hear that he has a tough time with shorter fighters and stuff like that. He has a tough time with anybody that can box.
Remember, not too long ago, they said he was learning on the job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I believe that.
He learning on the job. But in 17-20 fights, this is what he got. But then, you know now well why you don't want to put him in there with Wilder.
They know why.
But then you want to put him in there with Fury, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure the only reason why they want that Fury fight is because they know he's been fucking up.
Yep. They thought they can get him at a perfect time, and they know Eddie Hearn was gonna make sure that motherfucker was clean. They knew he was gonna be clean.
They know more. They know more because all the UK connects they got up in there. All them yes man, his daddy keeps saying he got around him, right? Somebody tell him.
Yep, because you gotta think about it. His dad was the fact that his dad was already saying like, "Yo, I don't know about y'all, but I don't want this fight to happen to 2022," and people just act like he didn't even say that shit.
Nah, they're not trying to hear it. They're not trying to hear it. They was even gonna push back that Anthony Joshua fight. You know, they try to make the excuse for, you know, there's a lot of things you could say that people say that why fights ain't happening and stuff like that. But, you know, Wilder don't sell anyway. So what the fuck he care about people in attendance? He never sold out an arena.
That's what they said,
even with the help of Tyson Fury, he ain't never sold out an arena. So why the fuck he care about attendance? I'm just saying. But Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, come on, man. Come on, man.
The fact that they weren't even trying to fight in the UK should have let people know something. But you know, it is what it is. What do you think about a Tyson Fury versus one of those old school fighters?
They'll tear his ass up.
They'll tear his ass up.
I know. His ass up because they know he's squishy in the middle.
Yep.
They know he's squishy in the middle.
Tyson would definitely get him out of here. Most definitely.
You know, if Larry Holmes, George Foreman hit that motherfucker in the body a couple times, he's going to sleep. He's going to sleep. He ain't gonna have no choice. He ain't gonna have no choice but to protect that motherfucker.
But the thing is, with Malik Scott, he already analyzed it. He said, man, Tyson Fury, he going to these fights with his hands down, And I honestly believe the only reason why Tyson Fury got, some type of skills or whatever, is just the fact that he's so tall and it's harder to hit his head than there is anybody else.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, how do you practice to hit Tyson Fury's head if you way smaller than him?
and
Like
that's the reason
Cunningham.
why, and that's the reason why, if you look at a lot of Tyson Fury's fights, look at the Tommy Fury fight, because that's so recent in everybody's head. But that little bitty dude, why do you think that little dude couldn't really get a good, clean shot on that dude? He had to work his way to the inside, and then the best shot for him to throw to knock him out is an overhand right, because he's so fucking tall.
Yep.
He tried to throw a straight right, but guess what happened when he threw a straight right? You know what I'm saying? He could see it coming. He could see it coming because he wasn't setting it up, or he got caught.
I feel like with Wilder and them, I don't know why they not going to the body. I mean, I saw Wilder throwing like jabs to the body, but I mean like get him in the inside and hit him with a hook. But I feel like they got the game plan now. Most definitely. You know what my pops told me? My pop said, despite the water or whatever, he says if Mike Tyson was to fought Fury with those funny gloves, he still would have beat him. Because Mike wouldn't even give him the opportunity to touch him like that.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm talking about the second fight with Fury against Deontay Wilder.
I don't know.
If the Fury that fought Wilder with the gloves, all that, fought a Mike Tyson in his fought a Mike Tyson in his prime.
Without the juju.
With the gloves, but without the tampering of the water.
Yeah, the juju.
Yeah.
I think Mike would have said something.
You said he just would have said something. I'm just talking about styles. If they went into the ring and Fury had something in his glove, do you think that Mike Tyson would have got lumped up too? Or you think he just would have?
If he has something in his glove, he gonna get lumped up. I mean,
yeah, man. I mean, that's hard to kind of gauge. I get it.
I mean, if he has something in his gloves, he gonna get lumped up. You know, he just tapped a little bit, blip. He gonna get lumped up. I mean,
and I feel like that's what fucked up Wilder too, because it's like when he got hit with that right hand, it's like he was kind of concussed walking, like fuck. You get hit, you get rocked, you like damn.
I put it to you,
realize it.
Let's say, for instance, right?
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to the notion of that Fury had anything in his gloves, because there's nothing I can prove from that. I can take and say, yeah, that was something. But if he was to have something in his glove, he was hiding it in the palm of his hand. And the reason why I tell you that is because Jack Broughton, the guy who invented boxing gloves, but boxing gloves were called mufflers, right? He had invented the 6 rules, 7 rules, or 8 rules, 9 rules, or whatever of bare knuckle fighting. It was called I forget what it's called, prize ring rules, something like that. And one of them was you can't have nothing in your hand.
And why can't you have something in your hand?
Everybody that's been in the street fight know that motherfuckers that got a roll of quarter in their hand gonna knock your ass out or hurt you. Everybody know that.
Mm-hmm. I heard back in the day. I heard if you put a lighter in your hand while you fighting, like if you squeezing on the lighter. You ever heard of that before?
Because look, when you put something, first of all, it adds weight. It adds weight, and it helps define them knuckles better. Then second of all, if he was to slip it to the outside of his glove by way of his hand when he's rolling it up and stuff like that, and popped him a few times with it, or just had in his palm right here and hit him with it, and then close it up later.
In the pictures of the fight, he was doing that like this.
I'm just giving out theories on it because it won't make sense for you to have the hard object on the outside of your knuckles and hurt yourself. And it makes sense to have it in here because that's what you're using to hit people with, your palm.
Man, I'm surprised Kenny Bayless ain't do nothing about that shit. Like that, they took away 1 point, but I'm like, yo, the motherfucker
They took away 1 point for him choking him. And then you're gonna say Wilder was dirty too, but at what? At what? He wasn't raking nobody's face with the laces. He wasn't hitting with the palm of his glove. I know a lot of people say, like, okay, the palm of your hand ain't really gonna hurt anybody. But I guarantee you could probably I guarantee you as far as the history of bare knuckle fighting goes, plenty of niggas been knocked out with palm shots.
Right there, just like, bro, he was doing this so well. Like, it was, I'm gonna be honest. When I first watched the second fight, I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, that's dirty, but it's like, wow, Wilder, why are you letting them get up on you like that to do that cheating shit? What do you think, though? You think, man, I don't know, man. It's just real hard to gauge that fight without like talking about the cheating, because it's like it's so apparent. Do you think that Lennox Lewis can beat one of these old timer fighters? Lennox Lewis versus Muhammad Ali.
I think Lennox Lewis can, but Lennox Lewis, he every now and again he'd get caught. You know what I'm saying? Every now and again he be getting caught with something, And like I keep trying to say with these older cats, this is something. It's just like when you watch back the old videos that's in black and white and shit.
Yep, I went back and I watched them today.
And it don't look the same. It don't look like 40, 50 years ago. These niggas don't look the same. I'm not talking about the size. I'm talking about the footwork, the ability to sit on a stool, the ability to show effective defense while fighting in the inside.
These guys were standing up during the break. They'll be standing up. Like the fight I was watching today, it's like the fighters, they'll go to their corner, stand up, get the treatment, and then go back in there.
Right. Trying to figure out.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, because if you sit down, I feel like you telling your brain to rest. But if you still standing up, it's still letting your brain know that you still got some more work to do.
I don't think it's the brain thing. I think it's more of the legs.
I think it's more of the legs.
I think it's more of a leg thing. While some people don't want to sit down, they don't want their legs to stiffen up on them.
Yep.
They don't want their legs to stiffen up on them, and that's the reason why they don't want to sit down. You know what I'm saying? Look at Manny Pacquiao. He talking about my legs didn't want to move. Nigga, you're 42. Of course.
That was very concerning when he said that. And I'm like, dude, and he talking about he want to fight Ugas again. I'm like, bro, cut it out, nigga. Please.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay. Manny Pacquiao said he want to fight again. I don't like that. I don't like that. Because one thing about those old school fighters I was watching too is that, man, when they went downhill, boy, did they go. I was like, and then, okay, a fighter that everybody bigs up, or everybody on the old media side bigs up. They big up, what's his name? Not Joe Louis, Marciano. So I was watching this fight. They give him credit for beating Joe Louis, but here I am reading that shit, and Joe Louis was 37 years old and was in debt with the IRS. And then J. Edgar Hoover was in like the front row. I said, yo, this shit, man, cut it out, yo. Cut it out, man. Cut it the fuck out. A lot of these, come on, bro.
They got him. I think they got him.
Yeah,
I think they got him and he took it to the grave. They got his ass. I mean, I tell people like this all the time. Recent scenario like that is Kovalev.
Yeah.
Kovalev owed a lady a whole bunch of money for whooping her ass and her dog, right?
Yep.
He defaulted on the judgment. They had to go to court again. And I'm pretty sure they made an agreement that he got to get that purse up.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure That's the reason why he took that Canelo fight last minute.
He had no choice. Shit, I would have took it.
He could have been injured. He could have been injured from his last fight, not ready because of his last fight, and took it on a couple weeks. Why Canelo was fresh and about to hit your ass with the weight claws.
Hey, that motherfucker went home, kissed his wife on the cheek, and hopped right back on the plane.
Yeah, he had no choice. He had no choice. He had to. And now look what Kovalev. Who? You don't hear shit about him. Who?
Hey, the last thing I seen from Kovalev is like, I don't know if he was drunk on Instagram, but he was posted something to Canelo fighting, and he was just like, man, I really beat this guy. You know, he basically explaining like, yo, they caught me at the wrong time. Like, I would really fuck this guy up type shit. Like, he felt a little upset. Like, man. And I'm like, dude, that's your fault. That's your fault. Ain't nobody tell you take that fight like that.
He had to.
But he's sitting back mad as hell like, yo, I really let this nigga turn me into a highlight reel.
He had to. It was like back in the days. You ever join one of these services or you go to jail.
Fucked up.
Like, think about it. Like, I went through most of the whole case on my channel with that dude, with the court documents and all that shit. I'm still waiting on that your boy Daniel Kinahan and all that shit. But Moses Herania with Joseph Diaz Jr. I'm still waiting on that. They keep going back and forth, giving extensions and then taking out stuff and adding stuff, corrections. You know what I'm saying? Getting their facts straight because it wasn't right. So they still ain't hit no court date yet. Like as far as both sides, you know, being on a telecom or whatever and giving their sides, it still ain't hit on that yet. So I'm still waiting on that. But and you know, MTK Global ain't gave their side. Golden Boy ain't gave their side of the story yet. But I tell you this one thing, Moses Heredia, he got some closet. He got some demons in his closet when it comes to drug dealing with his partner. Oh yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't know.
Yeah, Joseph Diaz's promoter, Moses Heredia.
I heard Joseph Diaz was just in some shit with the MTK. Like they repossessed his cars. All types of shit.
No, Moses Heredia took the car back because the motherfucker signed a deal for took money from MTK Global for $100,000.
And you see, motherfuckers be acting like the mob in boxing just is non-existent anymore.
So basically everything that Joseph Diaz had, like the car department and the bills and the cell phone, was being paid to by his manager Moses Heredia. Moses Heredia was trying to tell this dude's like, you fucking up, you acting crazy, blah blah blah. With the whoop. We know how many times did Joseph Diaz miss weight?
Twice, but he had to correct him.
Yeah, and that's the reason why they got the Torch's interference in there, because they alleging that he took $100,000 from MTK Global.
Yeah, don't they got him in like a poaching case?
Yeah, that was a poaching case. Then Moses Heredia is pulling up the RICO on his ass too, with the poaching. Yeah, and then MTK Global still trying to put on fights with Joseph Diaz Jr. and none of these sanctioned bodies doing nothing about it. I believe he's been sending cease and desist orders out on that, and they ain't doing shit about it.
Man, it's gonna take for one of these motherfuckers to get locked up big time for us to realize, like, yo, this shit's still fucked up out here.
Hey,
Eventually, what's
going on, bro?
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Okay, what's good, man?
Shit, we just chilling, having a good, intelligent conversation about what's, the past, the present,
Oh, right, yeah. I had a little cold, man. This New York weather is crazy.
Shit, you got a cold or you got the COVID?
Nah, it's like everything. It's like every time you get some, right, you got to think about the COVID, right?
You ain't lying.
You can't even get the cold no more.
Right, you can't even get regular sick anymore. But yo, this New York weather is crazy. It's dirty. The air is dirty. I don't know if y'all been up here before.
Yeah, I've been to New York.
It's dirty all the time. It's easy to get sick up here, man.
Trash all on the street.
Hell yeah. And when I was in Minnesota, I never got sick. It's crazy. Never got sick.
Unless you out here standing outside in the bus stop.
Right. Word. And the dead winner, right?
Yep, dead fucking winter. I remember it was so cold. It was like -15, -20. I had to walk to work. My job was like 10 minutes away, man. That shit felt like it was 40 minutes. I was like,
Yeah, son. That type of cold is crazy.
I
Like,
know I'm staying in the crib this winter. But yeah. What's your thoughts on boxers of today versus boxers of yesterday?
yeah, like I was saying in the chat, man. Very few fighters I think would do good back in the days. You know, these people fought like 15 rounds, had way better stamina, was more tougher, you know.
But they
Like
was
I said,
much
I think
smaller.
yeah, the fighters were smaller back then. They were. How tall was Ali? Like 6'2", 6'3", something like that. But
I
he
don't
can
know.
move. He can move, you know. He still would give people problems, man. He jab, move.
Yep. Quick lightning jab. Now swell up your eye. That's what he did
Word.
to Liston as. He gave him all types of looks. Liston was mad.
Oh, listing with man, he'll destroy probably half of the top 5, top 10.
Yeah, Liston most definitely beat the fuck out of these dudes. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But yeah, you were saying something about like the cheating. You know, that's a good question. You was like, were they like worrying about the cheating back in the days?
Yeah, because
You
I'm thinking
know,
like
like
shit.
like were these motherfuckers even caring? Like like shit is
Yeah, they
crazy.
would, but back in the days, majority, you know, if you ask people, you couldn't fight New York without dealing with the mob. You know what I'm saying? Without, you
Yeah,
know,
right,
giving them
right. It
their
was
cut
more
or
of the
whatever the
mob
case may
controlling
be.
everything.
So if you're a no-name fighter and you fight in New York, you know, you got a lot of pressure on you. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of pressure on you as far as, you know, doing what they tell you to do or you know,
Yep,
getting what they
I didn't
told you.
heard stories. The
You know, I
brother
heard
B man,
stories of
he said, yeah, it's true. Fighters will get pressed and say, hey, if you don't lose, we got something for you.
I heard stories of Rocky Marciano,
Yeah,
Tampa Gloves, He,
dude, that motherfucker had J. Edgar Hoover at his fight.
yeah,
I'm looking like,
yeah, man.
There's no such thing as organized crime.
Yeah, man. The mobsters definitely ran everything back in the days, man. They say, hey man, if you lose this fight, your ass gonna get killed.
yep, that's scary. Or
Word.
if you
You
don't
look up in
lose
the
this fight,
crowd, you see all these motherfuckers like, damn.
man. And then bro, I was watching those videos right from back in the 30s or whatever. Man, all them dudes was grinning like a motherfucker. Like it was money to be made in every fight press. Like I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers they acting like they about to get in the ring and fight. But
Yeah.
it's like I feel like a lot of these dudes were involved because you got to think about the investors and all that. That's a lot of money that these dudes was making back then. Still,
Mm-hmm.
I seen them said they said that Muhammad Ali made about like 5 million, and that's
Mm-hmm.
equivalent to like 20, 30 million
Yep.
today.
Mm-hmm.
Shit,
Yeah, Ali was caking, man.
caking, and motherfuckers was right there backdooring it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. But one dude I seen from the past that I was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, he'll fuck up a lot of these motherfuckers today. Sugar Ray Robinson.
Woo! Sugar Ray Robinson, one of my favorite fighters, man.
I was like, I seen him do like a triple hook to somebody's stomach. I said, wow.
That man was unbelievable, man. He was
Yeah, he'll fuck up
unbelievable.
a lot of these dudes. Real shit. That's one dude I don't think a
I
lot of
think
these
he
dudes
had
can
like
fuck with.
180 fights or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think
Crazy,
Floyd
bro.
can beat him.
Nah.
Shit, Archie Moore
These people, they were
knocked some of
built
these
different
motherfuckers
back
out
in the
too.
days. Archie Moore, yep.
Shit. And he got railroaded in a lot of his fights. I was like, look, I was watching this shit. I'd be like, scratching my head, like, did he really let this shit slide like this? Yep.
Remember, Sugar Ray killed somebody in the ring, man.
He got away with it.
Yep. Killed somebody right in that ring. This man was dangerous to the point where he was scared to even like hit somebody with his full power because he thought he was gonna kill him. You know?
Nigga, they was gonna let fucking
Yo,
Joe
he has
Louis.
200 fights, Sugar Ray. I'm looking at it now. 200 fights. That's
Probably more than that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Probably more than that.
And 19 losses. It don't even matter how many losses. You had 200 fights, 173 wins.
Because if you look at how many fights he was having per year, man, shit, you would not know 100%, man. You no way in fucking hell.
As much as we love Floyd, man, Floyd, you're not built like that.
Hell no.
Like, in my opinion, he's pound for pound probably the best boxer I ever seen, but fighter, I think, he's not in that conversation, top 5 fighter. But boxer, yes.
I mean, he could. I mean, he could be depending on who's talking, who's doing the talking. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you had that fight like 15, 20 times in 1 year just to make ends meet.
Just to make 25 cents.
You know what I'm saying? Just to make ends meet and stuff like that. Probably even have to bet on yourself to make money. You know what I'm saying? Be a posse or whatever, like Floyd be doing. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, now these cats, they always injured after each fight.
Yeah.
They always taking 3 months off after each fight. Now, some of these guys, when they first coming up, they'll fight back to back, but it'd be like what Tommy Fury is doing, like a whole bunch of.
But they'll get them out, not go to war with these guys.
Well, he didn't get that guy out in them 4 rounds. I mean, granted, it was a 4-rounder, but just look at him. Look at
which fight y'all talking about?
You come all the way over here to
Fury
US
last night.
Oh yeah.
You come all the way over here to US and look who Daniel Dubois fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you off of an injury and everything, but you already got that eye injury out the way in sparring. Don't tell me you didn't test that fucking eye out before you got in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doing all these other sports. Your leg hurt.
I think after Joe Joyce, he's trying to keep it safe right now.
Yeah, well, it ain't no keeping it safe.
Not saying it's a good thing, though. I'm not saying it's a good thing.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's not that type of thing, especially American debut. I mean, like, let's keep it real. You fought a dude that nobody knew.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And granted, you gave the guy a good look. You know what I'm saying? His people got to know his name, even though he got made into a meme. But you can't come up over here your first fight as your first debut up over here in America, and when you already damn near selling arenas based off of your name in the UK, you can't come over here and do that shit.
I mean, he can because we
that's
don't
how
know
they
him.
get down, right? That's how he took advantage of the situation.
Yeah, we don't know. I feel like it was a good idea for his career.
He had options. Yeah, he had better options than that dude.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, they just wanted him to get a knockout though. I'm pretty sure.
And you talking about everybody's. I'm not.
What you think was the best fight yesterday?
That love fight.
Yep, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
Yeah, that was a good fight. That Tyron Woodley and honestly, I didn't like the fight on both ends. And I just feel like Woodley was so used to the UFC style that he wasn't throwing so much punches because he's so used to fighting, like, grappling and striking. So that's what took him a long time to warm up. And what's his name kept backing up, Jake Paul. So and I missed most of it, but the fourth round, Tyron Woodley almost knocked him out.
Somebody said they feel like that fight was on a fix because
it could be, man,
because he was holding back.
It just don't make any sense. Like, why the man was like for 2 rounds straight wasn't really throwing anything.
I tell you why I think that's his MO been in the last couple of fights in MMA. Has been Woodley's MO, but I think it was a fix, and I think it was a fix on the aspect of this. They putting him in there with guys with a certain complexion as a white dude against a white guy, and they put him on there on purpose because They put him in there with guys that are not known for their striking abilities and not being boxers. And
You're right.
people on the outside keep thinking in their minds that just because you knock a few people out in the UFC, think that with a couple of months you can do this against somebody that already had 4 fights.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just off of you ain't acclimated. We've seen what you could do in one fight against this guy, but if you had the same amount of stepping stones that he had to get to where you was at, you
Also,
probably
the
would have got
weight
him out of there.
difference. Also, the weight difference.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
even though Tyrone Woodley was about the same weight, but he's coming up. He fought at welterweight in the UFC.
what's your weight in the UFC ain't the same weight in boxing.
Oh, okay, it's different.
Yeah,
I think
because
so.
when they
Okay.
say welterweight, that nigga looking like he was about 170.
Yeah, he was 189, and but the other guys was definitely smaller than him, man. They were like 20. Nate Robinson, what's that other guy? It's like 20, 30 pounds smaller than this dude, and they not even boxers. It's like, come on, I could do a better job than them.
Ask yourself this: why is he? This is my whole thing.
I
There's gonna
think he
come
could
a time.
afford a D-level boxer.
It ain't gonna happen.
I know. He'll get his ass whipped from a D-level boxer.
It ain't gonna happen because that D-level boxer is actually gonna fucking train his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
With the opportunity he got.
Yeah, he gonna have enough time to train his ass off and get that motherfucking ring.
Yeah.
You know, look what Tyrone Woodley did within just a couple months, being off of UFC for out of the ring for how long?
That's a fact.
Look what he did.
That's
He got
a
up
fact.
in there, almost got that dude up out of there. Both sides looked pretty boring. Jake was damn near, he was done, gassed out, in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? Just throwing a jab here and there, throwing a couple of furies here and there.
He was
Really not
gasping for
landing shit.
air.
You know, they gave it to Jake because he's the money guy. He's the one that's bringing in the revenue.
He
He
brought
sells,
everybody out there.
Right. He sells. He got, that I knew they was going to give it to him.
And it's not doing any boxing any justice. And the reason why I say it's not doing boxing any justice is because the simple fact is that none of these boxers, not the boxers, like Magnus Serrano and everybody on Love and all them, they got Tommy Fury and everybody on the card. Got people looking at them. Yeah, they gained a few fans and stuff like that. But are they gonna be there for your next fight by yourself?
No. Because most of them were just Jake Paul fans. They weren't really boxing fans at all.
Where they gonna be?
Right.
And he's not trying to do boxing any justice and stuff like that. And you can't, and people shouldn't really. And the only reason why people are making articles and doing shit like that is because he had over 1 million followers on YouTube. On YouTube before he even got into this boxing shit. Of course, people are going to watch him for these pay-per-view fights. Maybe not a million people, but somewhere in that ballpark, and possibly even more, because these are kids. These majority of these motherfuckers ain't grown ass men who actually watch boxing every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday. You know
Tuesday.
what I'm saying? They're not gonna
right now Tuesday.
Yep. They're not gonna be there for Magnus Serrano for her next fight, whether or not it's MMA or whether or not it's boxing. They're not gonna be there for Love, his next fight. They're not gonna be there for these guys in next fight. I don't know how that's good for boxing. He's definitely sure ain't gonna be around. He ain't gonna be sitting over there promoting them. He don't know what to do with promoting besides himself and his followers, his own fucking lane.
He tried to say, "Oh yeah, I'm doing this from Amanda Serrano. She from Puerto Rico. I live in Puerto Rico, so I'm gonna have her on my undercards type shit."
No, no, no. If this is just me because I didn't talk about pay in women's boxing for the longest, and paying in women's boxing for the longest. All it has to do with everybody within the sport of boxing. You don't want to give them 3-minute rounds, and you don't want to give them 12 round championship fights. So what happens when you do that? Now you miss out on an extra minute of opportunity for a fighter to get rid of somebody. Now you miss out on the opportunity of putting women on the same playing field as men. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of these networks ain't doing no justice for these women boxers either. You know, look at Amanda Serrano and Clarissa Shields, MMA and boxing, right? MMA and boxing. And you mean to tell me y'all don't want to talk about this? The males ain't doing it.
Right.
It's so bad the women got to go to fucking a whole nother sport and risk getting kicked in the head.
Yep.
Well, Amanda Serrano been doing it for a minute. You know, she been off the radar with her MMA stuff, and people didn't really talk about it.
Yeah, I
And
didn't know
people
that.
people didn't even know, and they started talking about Clarissa Shields being the first, but they forgot there was women way before Clarissa Shields and Amanda Serrano that have done it.
See, I ain't know.
Holly Holmes was a boxer before she went to MMA.
Oh wow.
Ain't that the woman who beat Ronda Rousey?
Yeah, gave her athlete
Yep.
speak. Yeah,
Yep. She whooped the ass too.
put
Say
them
gave her
toes on her.
Sweet.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I understand. Is like, how sensational does that look for a fighter to go up in there and fight somebody on their own playing field in MMA, and then go back and fight somebody in MMA again, and then calling out Savannah Marshall for December, and all you hear is crickets from her and Eddie.
Eddie know what he doing. He trying to just milk the cow. He ain't trying to do nothing. But shout out to everybody in the chat. We just talking boxing, dude. We cooking up, man, while I'm over here working on this Wilder versus Fury art.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, D Hodge?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to call her back.
But yeah, like who really gonna be? Are people gonna go check out for an independent card where she's just fighting now?
Who? Amanda Serrano?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably gonna. I don't know where it's going. I forgot what it's gonna be on. But I watch. I paid for her last fight. I paid for her last fight. Played for Shields' last fight. I paid for the Tate Jones last fight on Buckhead. You should be having a fight coming up here again. I paid for it again. It's not nothing expensive either. Guys and women, ladies out there. It's not nothing expensive out there. It's like $15, $25. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't that much to
support. Yeah.
To support. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you know it's a group of people that mean well and trying to do things. The more people get behind them, the more they can force people to make fights with them. You know what I'm saying? As far as the Katie Taylors and the Savannah Marshalls and the Pursuits and all these women out there that's running around here hiding behind Edward Hearn. You know what I'm saying? The more money people get put behind them, the more money they can get these women to fucking fight them. Because then they can't deny the money. You know what I'm saying? That's how they get the fights. The money got to come from somewhere, and nobody wants to hear. And a lot of these motherfuckers don't want to hear about paying after the fight and stuff like that. If I was a boxer, I don't give a fuck when I get paid, as long as I get paid. If it's before the fight or after the fight, I wouldn't give a fuck.
But these motherfuckers got finances, they got kids, all types of shit.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, you mean to tell me that you wanna if somebody's gonna offer you $50 million, you're gonna worry about if it's gonna come out after they tally everything up or not? They gotta pay you.
Shit, you can turn around and bet some money on yourself to win.
Yeah, that too. But
if I was a
wouldn't give a
boxer,
fuck.
that's most definitely what I would do, man.
I mean, $50 million coming from PBC. I'm talking about Edward Hearn and Anthony Joshua. It's just a cop out. It's just a cop out. Most fighters in America don't get paid don't get paid fucking up front. And who the fuck gonna pay you up front anyway?
Of course, that shit was a cop out. These niggas,
Who the fuck?
bro.
Who the fuck is gonna sit up over here and pay somebody up front for a fight? And if they don't show up, you got to. What happens?
You still gotta give them 40 million.
Be looking like Tyson Fury, Mister. That's just me. It's like I wouldn't pay nobody who, like, if services rendered, pay upon services rendered.
Would you give Tyrone Woodley his rematch?
If I was him, if I was old boy, nah.
Yep.
That's not his MO.
I don't want to see no more. I don't want to see no more Jake Paul fights, honestly.
No, I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I just watched this to see what was going to happen and how Woodley was going to look. But I figured he was going to lose.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't want to. But that's the thing. Is like watching that shit ain't for me and you.
Yeah, right.
You know? It ain't for me and you. It's for all these other cats around here that want to watch shit like that. It ain't for me and you because if that was the case, you know, they would literally be you know, calling us. You know, they're not talking about real boxing fans when they talking about fans with that shit.
They keep on they just keep on mentioning fucking casual fans. Casual. That's all they want. They don't care about what the fuck we got on. Bro, we over here complaining about that fight, but that fight actually happened.
Yep.
Meanwhile, us boxing fans, we got to look forward to a motherfucking purse bid.
That's the sad part. That's the sad part.
That's some shit.
Yeah, well, that's because it was that's because the way the fight is structured. You know, with that fight, there wasn't going to be no purse bids because there's no obligations for any type of belts or any type of sanctioned body or anything like that. You know, the sanctioned body.
The fact that we gotta wait for motherfucking Terrence Crawford versus Porter purse bid is just shameful. It's like, bro, what the fuck?
Well, it's not because the fight is still gonna happen should happen on the regularly scheduled date, but purse bids are technically designed to get the fighters more money. But what happens is with these purse bids is sometimes it doesn't because sometimes these promoters use that as a way to save money. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes these promoters use that as a way to save money.
But they got until next week, right? To make a decision.
Maybe
the Porter and Bud fight.
But then again, like I try to tell folks, you know, maybe the juice is not worth the squeeze for Bob Arum. And I kept trying to tell folks, man, Bob Arum been paying this dude's millions of dollars per fight. And that's the reason why they even said, based off of the two fighters' last motherfucking purses, it's like $10-14 million or something like that. And that's what I've been trying to tell folks. These cats, that's the reason why Bob Arum was saying what he said. People don't want to believe me, but the dude's already been getting paid a couple $1 million per fight. That's the reason why he's comfortable over there with Bob Arum and shit like that. That's the reason why.
They talking to this nigga crazy over there, but fuck it, he like, well, I'm getting petty.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Said, I don't know about you niggers. I'm getting paid $5 million.
We need to see you in top-notch competition, though. But I'm just tired of the Instagram after a fight saying, "Oh, if that was me, you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda, I would have did this." That's so corny, man.
So if they start the purse bid at $15 million, who do you think is going to buy that? Who do you think is going to bid on that?
I don't know.
Sean Porter versus Crawford, purse bid, $15 million. If it's on pay-per-view, they got to get their money back. Plus, you know, you got to who's gonna be on the undercard. You got to pay for that shit too. So you got to at least do 500 million pay per view buys. Get your money back.
Yeah, you think it'll do it? 500 million?
Nah,
Exactly.
nah,
Yeah.
nah. They're gonna have to do like something. They're gonna have to do something like
If it was Errol Spence, yeah, but you know,
they're gonna have to do some paid prescription thing worldwide. You know, ESPN Plus or something worldwide, the Zone, something like that worldwide. At least that way you look tally up your subscription numbers and get and make some money. But just having it on pay per view in America is not gonna
it's not. It's gonna.
is not gonna do that much.
Yeah.
Because you got to go with what's gonna be your bread and butter. The bread and butter is up over here down in Canada, South America, Mexico, UK, all around the world and stuff like that. You know, depending on what time you got to be up and stuff like that. How many people's gonna watch?
Right.
Let alone pay for it, because you know they got to either be up super early or be up super late.
Right.
You know,
I agree.
so I wouldn't. That's probably what their problem is. They need to just do their thing on their own accord and not have it on pay per view.
Yeah.
For once,
Not a pay-per-view fight.
Yeah, not have it on pay per view. Which I even think I think they make their money back for 240 because obviously ain't nobody been complaining with those numbers. The fighters haven't. When they do 250,
what would have happened if they had Vladimir Klitschko got his hands on Tyson Fury in a rematch? I think Klitschko would have beat him in a rematch, and I feel like he's still mad at Fury for that shit, for pulling out, because that he basically dethroned him and didn't even give him his rightfully, old rematch.
Oh, Klitschko would have definitely beat him, man. No.
I think Klitschko know he a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
because that's his white brother. He's not gonna put him out there like that.
Damn.
Let's be honest.
Because he could, if be honest, he could be out there right now with Wilder saying, "Yeah, Fury's a piece of shit."
Right? Exactly. That's the only reason he's not speaking out. Because if that was a black man that cheated him, oh my gosh.
I don't think he would have. Well, you gotta understand that dude. He's a different type of dude, and he don't be talking shit about nobody. You know what I'm saying? He don't mess with nobody. You rarely hear rumors about other people with him. I mean, coming out of his mouth. I wouldn't say that with him.
That is true. But I still think he would have. If it was somebody else that wasn't white, I still think he would have spoke out more.
I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have. I don't. It doesn't seem like the type to speak on anybody.
That look fire, Art, man. Not to cut you off, brother, but that look fire.
Yeah, I'm making a Wilder versus Fury 3 joint. I realized what time it was.
Yeah, that shit kind of looked like Rob Easter Jr., man, and his hair. When I saw him, the other day.
Yo, I can never learn how to draw on that thing, man. That's so hard. That shit takes a lot of talent.
Yeah, it does. Oh man, and it with this shit, it's like, dude.
Would you use the Adobe?
No, I just use this app called Procreate.
Oh, Procreate. Okay, you pay for it?
Yeah. Yeah, I pay for it. Shit, the best money I ever spent.
Yeah.
Tell you that. But a lot of the fighters from back then, they're great, but I just feel like them being smaller will play a big disadvantage if they was to fight anybody from today. Unless if you like a guy like Sonny Liston, who was built like a fucking tank. Short, but he was beating motherfuckers up, man.
And George Foreman.
George Foreman.
Would knock out. Well, who would give George Foreman problems? And that's
Wilder.
Besides Wilder, maybe
yeah.
Ortiz.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
Dillian White. That's playing.
Cut that shit out.
Yeah, the
they could be mad as hell. They gonna
Hey, y'all,
say
I gotta get going, man. I gotta get back to painting this shit, man, in the garage.
shit, no problem.
All right. Hey, y'all stay up.
All
Yep, we
right.
will.
Yeah.
Nah, but you know how it is. They gonna be like, yeah, you was talking about. They gonna be like, our man said that fucking Dillian White better than George Garner.
Yeah, we don't want to put that out in the air.
Hey, they got bro. They got mad because I said, I believe that Wilder give Joe Louis a tough fight.
He would. Joe Louis wasn't that big, man.
That's exactly what I said. I'm like, dude, you do understand that Joe Louis is fucking small as fuck compared to Wilder.
Yeah, man. Well, he probably weighed like what? The most what? I mean, I know
198.
Wild. Huh?
I
What'd you say?
I watched this fight last night. 198 is what the brother weighed.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, what?
And he
198?
probably was what 5'11" or 6 feet.
Yeah, 5'11",
And Wilder's what 6'7",
6'7",
6'8". Come
six
on, man.
seven. That's what I'm like, dude. Are you fucking serious?
And he's powerful, athletic. It's nah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like no disrespect, but like, bro, you got to be real with yourself. It's like,
Right.
yeah, he'll put up a tough fight, but the motherfuckers.
Yeah. People underestimate Wilder because they just think he's just this one-trick pony, but this man, he can fight, man. He can fight. You know?
Yep. And you know, I feel like a lot of these conversations we have, it's gonna make more sense to folks after October 9th.
If the fight happens.
If
You
the
know,
fight,
and we always got to keep saying, because, you know, I just gave up on this man, Fury, especially when he's quiet like this. You know?
yeah,
You be like, what is this guy doing? You know? What is he
like you gotta
plotting?
babysit the motherfucker. You supposed to be the champion. Why
That's
we
a
gotta
fact.
babysit you?
That's a fact. It's like, why is he so quiet? That's the scary part. And people need to be thinking about this.
Why is
When he gets quiet,
ESPN so quiet?
it's either two things. He's trying to figure out ways of cheating, or he's trying to figure out how to get out the fight. Like, if he shows up, honestly, I think it's a 80% chance he's not going to show up. I really don't think he's going to show up.
But if you do, how you feeling?
He knows his cough. He might be in a coffin that night, and that's killing him because he know he can't cheat. He know all eyes is on him.
And you know what makes it worse? It's like everybody don't think that you did, or whatever. Everybody that you cool with, or the media is telling everybody that you ain't cheat, but you know you did cheat. So it's like, fuck.
Yeah,
I gotta
man.
go in there and show people I didn't cheat.
Complexion for the protection, man. I just wish I had that white skin for one day just to see how that shit felt, because
Somebody said, what would you do if you woke up white for a day? I said, man, the very first thing I do is have a full-blown argument with a police officer. I'm talking about hands flaring and everything.
Right, cursing the fuck out.
Fuck out. Do your fucking job.
You
Do
stupid
your
bitch.
job, like how they be doing.
Get your dumb ass back in the car.
Right. Boy, shit.
Don't you ever pull me over again.
You better have a damn good excuse for pulling me over. That's how they...
Like, that's the first thing I'm gonna say when I come out the car.
Is there a reason you're pulling me over, motherfucker? Shit. You know what I'm saying? Fury has that type of privilege where he could just do whatever the fuck he wants to do, man.
Yeah, man.
Let him.
Nobody question. I don't think not one person questioned anything he did. It was like an excuse from everything. Why did he do this? Why the gloves look funny? Well, you know,
horsehair.
But his other glove don't look like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm like, dude, it's, you do understand it's not gloves we're accusing. We're accusing a glove, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
One glove, singular.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, man. And it's not just with Fury. It's like anybody that's not black. You know, they're gonna go against. Long as he's not black, they're for that person. Like, same thing with Pacquiao. Like, I was reading some article, and you know, they are praising Pacquiao. You know, you did a great job with the Ordenis Ugas, Father Time catch. I understand all that, but if this was Floyd, you know how much hate this man would have had if he would have lost in that fashion?
Yep.
He would have been fucking persecuted till he's a bum. It don't matter how old he is. He's this. Because
Look how they was
oh,
doing when he fought Berto. They's like, he's ruining his legacy fighting Berto.
exactly.
We like, bro,
Exactly.
what? It's
He
this supposed
can't
to be his last
he
fight?
can't do it. He can't do anything right. You know, and why is that? Because his skin complexion. That's the only question. And he accomplished more than anybody in this generation. You
Yeah.
know, why is he hated so much? It's
Why
only
is he?
one reason why he's hated so much, and we all know the reason. But then with Pacquiao, it's like, they got so much.
He just disrespected fucking Ugas. Bad.
Who
Manny
Pacquiao,
Pacquiao, he said this is my easiest fight, even though you lost.
and not giving Ugas his respect, like Ugas
Not
is
even giving us his respect. And people just like,
slouch or something.
but they saying, but they like to paint Manny Pacquiao as some type of like fucking
He's a
saint.
god to them, and
Yeah.
not only that, he's allegedly a PED user because he denied drug testing multiple times. Nobody talks about that. You deny drug testing, you're a cheater. I don't care who you are. And I know somebody called up on your show and said, "There's black fighters." Do you ever see us supporting black fighters or defending them if they were caught on PEDs? I never did. And that's the difference between us and y'all. We don't defend them. So you could say whatever about James Toney or whatever. I'm not defending that.
Not at all.
Y'all
I
come
ain't
up
with
here
a-
and defend cheats like they really won fair. Like, no. But they're not built like us. So
and like I said, a lot of these Fury fans, they don't even celebrate Fury win. They just celebrate the fact that Wilder lost.
exactly. It's
Because
always a race thing
they
with them.
can't go back to that fight and be like, dude, my favorite round was round 3 when Fury hit him with a left right hook jab. It was just like, dude, they just know that shit was a work of cheating. They just like, fuck it, he still won. Ha ha.
Right. Exactly. But that's how they always been. Remember, when they let black people fight, it was just to prove the white man was superior. It was not about making the black man, make money. It was just about the show. Look, but when Jack Johnson was whipping all the asses, it was like, damn, this one black dude is whipping all of us.
They even took it as far as to make it illegal to fucking have his film somewhere else. You can't carry his film across the state.
So, right, exactly. So with black fighters, it always started with race. It was never about boxing. So what makes you think it changed now? It's just that we were so dominant for years and still is that they had no choice. But now they are finding ways to maneuver and cheat and use the system to make it seem like we're not as great as we used to be.
Calling niggas emails champion instead of saying
right
and one by
avoiding black fighters. It always becomes systematic with them. Oh, let's just avoid these fighters and just put these guys out to the forefront and make them seem like they're so great. And you look at they regulate 15 wins. Who did they fight? Nobody. But they got them on a pound for pound list. Honestly,
they got Estrada and shit on the pound for pound list. I'm like, who?
They got Estrada. Yo, I see some pound for pound. I was just like, disrespectful, man.
Bro, they hate you see my pound for pound list? They hate that shit.
Yeah, I saw it. I know they do, because if it's not 80 to 70% black, it ain't no real pound for pound
list. Like, dude,
because we got the best records. Who got better records than the black fighters? I'll wait. Please show me.
I gotta be on my fucking Judge Joe Brown shit. You mean to tell me out of all these athletic, gifted fucking fighters that there's only two black fighters that deserve to be on the pound for pound list?
Exactly. So yeah, man.
Yeah, but we
Boxing always been about race, man.
dope. Like, and then when you watch the fights of the past, it's like, yeah, nigga, like, bro, the only reason why they put race aside for the second is because that money. But when you start getting a little big headed, they look at you like, man, you need to slow the fuck down.
Right.
Like
Right.
Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali said he had no other choice but to beat Sonny Liston that day because he was being painted as the loudmouth Negro.
Yeah.
And if he would have
Yeah, they
lost,
couldn't stand Ali back in the days. It's funny how he's praised, man. They couldn't stand him, just like Wilder. You know, I think that Wilder haters a little more, than Ali. But they hated Ali back in the days, man. Even when he was fighting George Foreman, like everybody was going for George Foreman. They didn't want Ali to win.
Not because George Foreman black, it's because George Foreman wasn't rah
Exactly,
power
this
shit.
loudmouth Negro,
He's one of those Negroes that know his place.
Right.
Shit.
He's a quiet dude that just knock your ass out,
And that's what they like. They don't like you challenging the system, saying anything about no black lives or any shit like that. You just got to be, docile. But if you a big Negro talking about to this day, they like, oh yeah, we got something for that. And my OG said that. He from New York too. He was like, and he not even a big boxing fan, but he seen that video to this day. He said, oh yeah, him doing that put a big ass target on his back.
Oh yeah.
And I say, see how crazy how black folks can understand that and not even be fully
you know
involved
why?
in boxing.
I'm gonna get a little deep, but that's the type of
deep.
That's the type of black man that white people fear. That's the type. It's the type, like, honestly, like me, you, Wilder, the one that's gonna tell it like it is and don't give a fuck and tell them to their face. They fearful of us, man. So soon as he came out and said that, it was like it's different from Ali. Because Ali, he'll joke. He'll laugh, No, Deontay's dead serious.
And they didn't like that. Joking. They didn't like that confidence.
Yeah.
That
masculinity. That man took off his glasses, looked you in the eye and said, nah, nigga, ain't nothing changed.
The fuck you talking about?
Right.
Nigga.
Oh man. This is the nigga that remind them walking down the street that the white ladies hold their purse when they see him. Or the cops will pull you over and shoot you down. That's the type of nigga that Deontay reminds me.
But they can't do nothing about it because he's in a position to win. He's in a position where it's like your system ain't gonna touch him. He has to, it's like this. I was taught that if they can't beat you in the ring or the field, they'll do things outside to hurt you. And as you can see with Wilder, it's like, dude.
And he's being punished, man.
Yeah.
He's being punished, but shit, it's time we put our foot down. We've been crucified too long.
Too fucking long. This Wilder fight is giving. They don't like the fact that it's gonna give a lot of black folks hope.
Yep.
It's gonna.
The sad part is they don't, like you said, they don't care he cheated. They don't give a fuck at all. All they care about, he lost.
The fact he lost, that's it.
Right. And I hate to be, white or black, because everything is about that in this world. That's how it was created. So I'm just telling the truth from how it is. In the perfect world, yeah, everybody's the same. Everybody's one race. I get it. But in the real world, everything is about race. Everything.
Your favorite fighters that y'all hate when we talk about them, they know the shit. Go tell fucking Joe Louis ain't about race.
Right. Exactly.
And they be like, oh, well, that was a long time ago back in. Nigga, what's changed?
Right. Exactly. Yeah,
so we just, on my channel, we just keep it 100, dude. I don't like, that's why I always tell people, if you want to talk real boxing, you talk it on my page. We talk about history and all that shit, man.
Yeah, man.
So his wife had to, you just talk about that bullshit. His wife had to give him his ass.
Oh yeah, I saw that. His wife was feeding him,
giving that nigga cream of wheat.
He's trying to get a rematch, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
And these dudes, Like, and Pacquiao got more excuses than everybody. Every time he lose, it's like 20 excuses, and they talking about Wilder
They
excuses.
talking about Wilder, and this is Wilder's first excuse.
And they treat him exactly. And they treat him like a little baby. Oh my, it's okay. We understand. We understand.
And Pacquiao,
Father time. Yeah.
father time, nigga. Nah,
Look at his
father
wife.
time and a combination of you getting your ass kicked is what happened.
Right. Look at his wife. He's feeding. Oh my gosh. Look at the big. If that was wild, it would have been cutting his ass. Look at eating the meal through a straw. And come on, man.
Imagine Wilder's eating a meal through the fucking straw when he fought after
Right.
he fought
Oh my gosh.
whoever.
Pacquiao, this guy, he's just praised, man. He's praised no matter what he do. Because he smiled. He's not black. And, you know.
I said it yesterday to somebody on the little space that they had on Twitter. I said, why you UK dudes care about a fighter having class? What the fuck that got to do with anything? They're like, well, we know that it's not real, but it's just our culture of pretending to be fucking nice. But blame fighters, bro, they don't like when Charlo get up. They don't like none of that shit. They real life racists over there in the UK. And they know it.
Right. Yeah, anything a black person do. We know how it is. Only the real can relate. Shit.
They sad in the Philippines.
Only the people that go through it know what we're talking about, and that's black people. So everybody else ain't gonna understand when they look at you a certain way, when they're the problem. If you're the problem, you're not gonna understand. You know?
And the crazy part, they be knowing.
Yeah, they know.
Be knowing.
They know.
And they just pretend like, oh well, and they know it, but they don't like this is what it is. They deny it when it's so obvious, like that woman's tweets, the judge tweets. When it's something obvious like that, that's when they like, oh, they gotta speak on it. But when the people are doing it strategically on the low, where it's not front street, but if you know how to connect the dots, you know, you can speak on it. They don't like when we speak on that type of shit. Like, dude, based off the system at hand, it's making this. They like, oh, you guys are just making excuses.
Right. Right.
Talking about excuses. Get the fuck out of here.
Right. Yeah, man.
Said this picture coming out pretty nice.
Hell yeah. I might need you to do something for me.
Yeah, shop with me, man. I'm always working.
Yeah.
I'm about to take a break.
You do logos too?
Yeah, I do all that shit.
Okay.
I'm about to take a break from this and then do Canelo versus Caleb Plant.
Okay.
I got this lined up right here. So yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna do that. I ain't even start that shit. Yeah, shout out to Joe Lewis. This going on hoodies starting today. Put that shit on the website.
Anyway, man, let me go, man. But yeah, salute chat. You know, thanks for having me on here, Art Man.
Yep, salute to the chat. I'm gonna fuck around and have
if you hear later though, I might jump on.
Yeah, shout out to the chat. I'm gonna fuck around and have a Wilder versus Fury 3 art show where I'm just drawing. Y'all can we talk boxing while I draw this art.
Yeah.
Can y'all see everything all right? Do I gotta tilt my camera?
That shit clear.
Okay. Yeah, this shit gonna be hard. So yeah. I'm gonna keep you guys posted. I'll probably do this shit like 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever.
Okay.
Wilder versus Fury 3 art party.
Word.
All right.
All right, yo.
Yeah.
I'm out.